Terrible, terrible, awful news for Tesla, you guys. It's the worst it's ever been, or is it? Yeah, we start out that way sometimes because a lot of the stories we cover start out that way. We're here to bring some perspective. And when I say we, I mean me and Randy Kirk. He's got a show on YouTube and X. You can follow him there. He's even got a really cool Patreon bonus thing he's doing, which I will let him tell you about at the end of the show because it's interesting. And he deserves some love. Don't we all? I'm Brian. Welcome to Futurasa. So Randy.
Yeah.
It's terrible. So you've got a law degree. You did not take the bar exam. You are not an attorney, but you get it. Tesla hit with lawsuit after shocking crash kills 4 people and a dog. The floodgates are open. So first of all, is there any world in which this scenario for any company would open the floodgates?
No. I mean,
Okay.
and if you get hurt, if you get harmed and you believe it was the fault of a person or a company, then you go to a lawyer. The lawyer tells you whether you've got a case or not, because usually they're going to only do it on contingency. And so the lawyer's only going to get paid if he wins, in these personal injury cases. So therefore, you have a pretty good chance that the lawyer thinks you're going to win. And then now you play it out. But it doesn't cause the lawyer to now have another case, or it doesn't cause the company to have other people say, oh, I should have sued. No, if you get hurt, you're probably going to
So
ask
let me
lawyer.
give you a different scenario and you tell me if that might qualify. Lose a case, appeal it all the way to the Supreme Court, and then the Supreme Court determines that something critical to the case is valid and sets precedent. That's what opens floodgates, right?
Right, but it would take all of that.
And they very seldom rule that broadly.
And
So,
generally,
yeah.
and generally speaking, what's going to happen in that case? Let's take the McDonald's hot coffee case. That went up the appeals courts. I don't remember it went to the Supreme Court, but what it did is it changed insurance analysis, and it also changed McDonald's analysis. And so they made changes to the way that they served it, because the insurance company said you better change it right now. So yeah, that's what would happen with Tesla as well.
Well, McDonald's coffee was hot enough to melt through the cup and gave her 3rd-degree burns on her legs. So they needed to cool it down a bit. When I was commuting in my 20s, would stop at McDonald's, and once or twice I bought coffee, but I could not drink it during my hour commute. It was so hot. Literally could not drink my coffee on my entire
Okay. I'm going to top your story. So when I was working as a waiter in the Sheraton, we had this machine that made the coffee, right? Okay. And we had another machine almost right next to it that was for boiling the eggs. And I had this client that no matter what I did, no matter how fast I ran out there with the pitcher, the coffee's not hot enough. And so I took the coffee cup, put the coffee in it, put the coffee cup in the egg boiler, put that on my tray, ran it out as fast as I could, put it on, and it was finally hot enough. So you see, there's some people.
There are.
Really like their coffee.
I worked at an IHOP one summer, and there are definitely people who cannot get their coffee hot enough, but defectively failed to assist the subject vehicle. Now you inform me that is that TCD, the cool down, not the most reputable of RAG. In this case, 4 people and a dog were killed when a Model X drove into a semi-trailer in Idaho in 2023, and he's citing electric. I think I'm out. On this one. Yeah, I think it's reasonable to move on. Hey, Gary Black likes Elon Musk's Tesla, but not the stock Tesla. Draws comparison with Amazon, says NVIDIA democratizes autonomy. Now, noted AI wisdom man Gary Black clearly knows something I don't. He offers insight into Tesla valuation criticism. Let's see here. Black shared that he held Amazon stock before it was profitable and trading with an infinite PE because investors could see its future. Amazon built it all up, but no other auto manufacturer could build high-quality EVs anyway. What the heck is Gary talking about?
Well, basically, Gary bailed out of Tesla. I want to say he bailed out at 325, 335, something like that, and said he'd love to get back in at 265. These are rough estimates, but that's roughly what it was. So he was believing that there was going to be another sell-off and that he could make a lot of money on that sell-off. I did the same thing. I mean, I'm still hearing from people about the day that I sold with the intention of getting back in 3 days. I said in advance, I'm going to get back in within 3 days. And I was planning to pick up $3, or $4 a share because I thought it would be down. And I got back in 24 hours later with a small loss. But Gary Black, it's a much bigger deal for him. The loss that he's got now, as the stock has gone from 325 or whatever it was to 445 or wherever we are today. That's a much bigger mistake, Gary.
And we do see these Einsteins pop up from time to time. Fred from Electric is one of them. He was so proud that he sold out at, and I want to say it was in the twos.
Right.
And that's not served you well. I also get people saying, I had a slew of comments the other day on a 3-year-old article, a video about NEO, saying, see, they're coming around. It's like, right, but it took them 3 years and they're down 87% from when I made this video. It's like, yeah, but now it's the time to invest. Yeah, you guys said that then. I don't buy stocks that are not directly traded in the US. I don't buy tracker stocks. I don't know enough to have confidence in them. Gary Black is not an expert on autonomy. He's not an expert on, I don't know what his expertise is.
I've had Gary on my show because Gary continues to say that Tesla is going to just be an also ran, just one more robo-taxi company. Everybody else is going to catch up, the moat, blah, blah, blah. But, one after another, people who are experts or who spend a lot more money digging into it, like Pierre Ferragu just the other day, putting out a massive paper. And I asked Gary, I put a comment the other day, I said, Gary, what do you think about the Pierre Ferragu story? And he hasn't gotten back to me on that one.
So this story is a little bit older. This is from the end of December. It's about to report fourth quarter deliveries. The number may be weak and investors may not care. Well, you can say the same thing about the upcoming earnings call, which is going to be soon, a week or so.
Week from Wednesday. Wednesday the 28th.
Okay. So it is coming up real soon. We could have weak numbers. Let's say Wall Street says, here's where this is it.
They're at
And
47 cents. They're at 47.
Okay. What if we come in at 40? Do you see retail investors getting skittish?
I think that all investors right now, what matters is Elon's attitude. And I think Elon is on the moon right now. I think he is so in his element. I think he's so refreshed. I think he's so excited about what he's doing that he is going to be the best Elon maybe we've ever seen at one of these calls. And what we've noticed over the last 2 years is it's all about his mood at the call. So whether we miss by a nickel, whether we are a nickel high, and I don't think it'll be more than that. I'm at 44 cents. The street's at 47. There's people that are at 38, and there's people that are at, say, 60. So that's kind of the range. I don't think it's going to matter a lot where we fall within that range. If there's some shock and it comes in at 20 cents or really big negative cash flow, maybe it comes down 5% or something.
Well, I'm ready to frame it for you because we've seen enough of these headlines following. We've seen headlines come out where they clearly wrote the article before the numbers were dropped and they forgot to change parts of it. So the headline will say, wow, they actually beat. And then the whole thing is doom and gloom. And they're like, we revised it. Terrible. But Elon may be on the moon, but according to his own projections, that's 100 million miles short of his target of Mars, Randy. So I think it's failure. It's clearly failure. The problem with the short seller thesis is in 2019, they had some valid points. You've got this big convertible debt coming up that if the share price doesn't hit like $112 or whatever it was at the time, they're going to have to come up with billions that they don't have. And then they blew past it. The debts were all retired. And it's like, okay, well, the Berlin factory is never going to open. So, that's possible. They did have tentative pending permits. The Berlin factory could take 20 years like the airport. Yeah, it could. It didn't. We're past that. Now what? So, and every hurdle that's passed, the FUD gets weaker. The short thesis gets weaker. Right now, the only short thesis I can see that makes sense is the PE is too high.
Yeah. And what you've got there is you've got a story stock. You've got a stock that people are trading against big future opportunities. And the biggest thing that drives the Tesla price down is a failure to actually execute on those stories. So
Yeah.
if you get, you know, if you're sad, you're unhappy, you're like, well, he said, and that's where people like Fred and like Gary actually probably bailed. It's because they're like, no, this Robo-Taxi thing is still 5 years from now.
Well, I have seen people use emotion to trade in both directions. I've seen people buy into stocks because one or two influencers told them to, and it really bit them in the butt. But there are also people who've sold because they, freaked out. It was fun when I was at the Tesla diner with Kelly and Bert, my friends from Michigan. We were, this will surprise you, Randy. We struck up a conversation with strangers at the table next to us.
Oh,
And and the guy was saying how I don't own Tesla shares, but I'm thinking about getting in because I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but Tesla's going to release a phone. And we're like, oh, oh I mean, as much as I enjoy my Tesla shares, I'm not going to tell you to buy them because you think a phone is coming. It's not. I
also
don't.
also a VTOL, also
Yes,
also drones, maybe
yes,
an HVAC for your home. Yeah.
yes. And but at the same time, I would say to the people who are saying, "Well, they're going to have Optimus everywhere next year," like everywhere is, I think, too many places. It will not be everywhere next year, nor do I expect it to, nor will I consider it a failure if it isn't. I would like to see it deployed in specific applications where it works and makes sense and is bulletproof and reliable this year. I would like to see that. If for some reason it doesn't operate outside the company this year, I'm not going to dump my shares. So I don't know what to tell you there. So the last one I wanted to cover here, and by the way, before I cover this, give me the 30-second pitch on your Patreon that you have just added to your channel, Randy.
Yes, it will come out in about, well, actually, probably yesterday, because of when this is on. On Monday, the Martin Luther King's birthday, he was a very major political force. I'm going to be doing 15 minutes, 5 days a week on political science, not necessarily around the subject matters like what's going on with this particular issue or that issue, but rather with regard to the horse race between now and November. Who's positioned to win the Senate? Who's positioned to win the House? What's going to impact that coming decision by the voters?
So what I'll say is, if you love Randy but hate his politics, good news: the politics are cordoned off. And if you love his politics, now you know where to find them in a convenient place. And what will the videos be? I imagine you can give him feedback as a patron and let him know what you want to see more of. I think that's as reasonable in the same way that you're a reasonable person.
Them or me? Hmm.
Both. Absolutely both. Has Tesla run too far after recent 5-year 55% share price gain? We were talking about the PE. I'm imagining you would, if you were a Wall Street investor, you would rate it as a buy, always a buy,
Oh,
even when it was.
it's,
I
it's totally a buy. It's totally a buy right now. I mean, okay, one of my major philosophies of how I look
not
at Tesla,
not investment advice, not
not invest,
investment advice.
not,
We're not licensed to do this. This
no,
is a matter of opinion,
right.
personal opinion.
So one way that I do it is I say, okay, what is the chances? Okay, put a percentage on it. What are the percentage chances that Robotaxi is successful this year? What is the percentage chance that not only is it successful, but they get 50,000 or 100,000 cars out there tooting around picking up passengers this year. You know, what are those percentages like? What is the potential, the percentage like that Optimus happens this year, and that they at least make 4, 5, 6, 10,000 of them, and they have them in their factories, maybe SpaceX, maybe even going out to third parties like Pepsi or McDonald's in order to be tested in third party environments. If you think that the percentage is 70, 80, 90%, then Tesla might be the best purchase you will ever make of a stock. If you think the chances are 10, 20, 30%, I probably wouldn't buy it.
I can't believe this, Randy. I might be more bullish than you, because if the odds are 10, 20, 30% of unlocking $1 trillion of value, that's worth something. Tough to
It's
say.
worth something.
It's guys in the comments. What do we miss? What do we misunderstand? Leave it. I beg of you, leave it. Everybody else, stay tuned, stay juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you, clever robots, when you sign up for Randy's course of madness. I think is what the official term is, and yeah, check it out, or don't. You know, I mean, or I mean, you can give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Both work the same. I'm just glad you're here.